Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Margison. I'm the chairman of the IDA of Chemung County. Today is an exciting day for the future of the arena in Chemung County. For about 24 years, this arena has been in a very challenging position and financially challenging positions. And moving forward, once the IDA took over, we put a management team in place. We found out a lot of things about the facility that we needed to repair because of the past challenges of keeping things up to date. So we have accomplished a lot of that this year, and the next option was to find a hockey system that was economically feasible for this community, that was a quality product, and I believe we found that today. That's not taken away from any of the past hockey teams or systems. They've all been great, but we just haven't been able to successfully move forward for a long period of time. So the exciting thing today is we're going to announce a 5-year deal that will stabilize this particular facility and bring an excellent form of hockey to the arena. For those that support hockey, I'm excited for you. We've done a lot of things to put us in a positive position. And now what I'd like to do is introduce Mark Frankfeld, who is the commissioner of the new league that we're going to work with. He's got a lot of information for us, and I want to welcome him to the podium.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, good morning, everybody. First time in the arena, and it's an unbelievable spot, so congratulations for that. First off, just want to start off by saying that it's my pleasure to announce that the North American Hockey League Board of Governors has awarded an expansion membership for the 24-25 season to operate right here in the first arena in Elmira, New York. It's also my pleasure to inform you that the owner is Mark Stemmerman of Chemung Supply Corporation. And what I think is really important about that is he is a local businessman that is really invested and interested in being part and giving back to the community. We have some unbelievable owners in the North American Hockey League. I call them philanthropic entrepreneurs because they're very successful in their business, and they get involved in this project to give back to the players and the community through the sport of ice hockey. And the men and women that own teams in the North American Hockey League are, for the most part, tied to the community and really are invested about giving back. Since Elmira is known for the National Soaring Museum, which houses the largest exhibit of classic and contemporary sailplanes, the team will be named the Elmira Aviators. And I believe there's also I believe we have some pictures of the brief look at what the jerseys will look like. So in a second here, we'll switch over to the jerseys to show you that. Ray Welsh is here today. He'll be in charge of hockey operations, very strong hockey background. He'll be joining us a little bit later towards the end in any question and answer session. Some folks may be wondering, what is junior hockey? And I believe junior hockey is the purest form of the sport. You get these young, strong-willed young men to town. There's no contracts or salaries hanging over their head. They come to compete in your town, live in local billet families, become part of the community, be part of community service and give back. And it's really simply for the chance for them to become a hero of your team in your town and be part of an incredible story, all along the way of trying to develop and advance to NCAA college hockey or beyond. What should the fans expect? Fans can come to the arena on Friday and Saturday night, afford to bring the whole family, maybe have a beer or two, and expect to watch a great physical hockey game with highly skilled hockey players. Again, players that are strong-willed young men that are battling for space And as we know, as you continue to battle and the intensity rises, something really exciting will combust, okay? What is the NAHL? The NAHL, the North American Hockey League, will be 50 years old next year. It's the oldest junior hockey league of its kind. The schedule is a 60-game regular season schedule. It turns into 2 rounds of best of 5 that culminates into the Robertson Cup Championship, which is held in kind of a Frozen Four champion of each division format in Blaine, Minnesota. So through the regular season hosting games and through the best of 5 in the playoff rounds, fans will get a really good chance to be part of the hockey team, the community, as well as create some unbelievable rivalries amongst the teams in your division. I'm going to get into a deck, show you a deck that was presented, I think you're a little bit ahead of me there. Can you go back a little bit on the deck? See if we can get back there. I didn't know we started the deck behind me, but anyway, so we're known as the League of Opportunity, and this deck was presented in March at a meeting hosted by the National Hockey League as part of our partnership within USA Hockey and the NHL. We get together with all the relevant league leaders in hockey in North America, and our presentation this last year in our role was to describe to the hockey world, the leaders of all the leagues in North America, every junior, every professional league, everything that exists, NHL down, what the North American Hockey League's role was within USA Hockey. So in terms of that, we talk about, next slide please. In terms of that, we talk about our job is number one priority is the players. We are player first. We like to celebrate the players. We celebrate them through weekly and monthly and annual awards, the grueling competition that it takes, and the Robertson Cup Championship. Our number one focus is play college hockey. Through every one of our leagues, you develop and advance through the system to play college hockey. Junior hockey players is not youth hockey, it's called amateur hockey. It's the gap between youth hockey and advancing to the NCAA. These players are on their way up. They're not young youth-looking players. They are young men that are very, very strong and very talented and very intent on what's going to happen. The action will be fantastic. And we're about community. We're about community. We celebrate the players. We're about advancing players to college and beyond, but college is our primary focus. And we're about community. Teams will do over 3,000 hours apiece in community service, whether it be through hospitals, schools, reading programs, all different kinds of things that you all would like them to get involved in. These players are there and ready to go. Next slide, please. So I mentioned the League of Opportunity, and in this slide it talks about, if you look in the middle tranche there, it talks about the number of NCAA commitments. One of the things we also look at that's not on this slide is we always look backwards, right? When you're doing numbers, you look forward and you present now and in the future. But one of the things we also lead in at the NCAA is we have about 34% annually of all NCAA freshmen. We represent 34% of all NCAA freshmen. So not only do our players get a chance to advance and get college scholarships, but they get a chance to play. So if you look on the left side, there's another junior league in the United States called the United States Hockey League. They're good partners with us, the National Hockey League and USA Hockey. And sometimes our players go to college after playing a few years or a year in the USHL. And then if you look on the right side there, there's a little bit of information about players that are currently former players playing or draft picks that get drafted in our league. But again, our primary gear is about advancing players to college, and we're really excited when they play hockey in the National Hockey League and beyond. Next slide, please. When I talk about us being the largest hockey property of its kind, we operate 2 subsidiary programs. We operate leagues. This is kind of you would say like a farm league or a development league for the NAHL. It's called the NA3HL. This league is also about advancing players on to college. We hope to have an announcement soon about a development option owned by the Aviators in a nearby town. That should be coming out soon. But as you can see, those teams in league advances players to the North American Hockey League. They advance players to the NCAA, and they advance players to the ACHA, which is otherwise known as a club hockey or non-varsity hockey in college. But again, the mission is advance to develop and advance to college. Next slide, please. And then our youth model, which again is just something that's underneath the structure of everything that we do. And again, you'll see players here play in our youth model, and they advance to the NA3HL, they advance to the NAHL, they advance to the USHL, and again, I've repeated the mission, advance to college. So we're not just a singular junior hockey league that has just kind of been around for a little bit. We've been around for 50 years. We have a property that is the largest hockey property of its kind in North America, advancing and developing players. And you know, when you get hockey involved, you also have, next slide please, you also have referees. And one of the things that is also part of everything that we do, we invest a lot into the referee development. We work with all the relevant leagues in development and advancement and education and coaching, and we have been a big part of the evolution to get more officials on the ice, so there's more of them to get developed and to advance to the National Hockey League. You'll see a couple different folks that have started and developed in our league and a bunch of other things that we do there. But again, just trying to give you a little bit more picture other than us just being a junior hockey league. We are a hockey business, and we are in the business for developing players, coaches, and officials. Next slide, please. So on the development side, things we do for our players, seminars, player safety, safe sports stuff. That's how you making sure that you're doing some really great things, not only on the ice, but off the ice. Some initiatives that we as a league launch, and we do it in conjunction with the teams. You've got some anti-bullying, Read to Succeed, mental health. There's a lot of things that the league and every member of the team participate in throughout the year, in addition to the great things that the team will do locally in the community for the community. Technology, we are really into development for our players. We use a lot of technology. We actually just had a big transition of all of our technologies to where the North American Hockey League is the owners of the technology, whether it be stats, whether it be broadcasting, whether it be data analytics, whether it be scoring system. Again, just kind of outlining that we are in the business to develop hockey players, and we're larger than just a singular league. Next slide. So again, the tagline at that National Hockey League meeting I was at was, we provide more places for players to play, coaches to coach, and officiate than any other league. Next slide, please. The Aviators will be in the East Division, and what's really cool about the East Division is travel will be very amicable for the most part. Travel is typically one of the three determinants of a successful business model. If you're traveling a lot, it costs a lot of money. If you're spending a lot of money on travel, you're not able to invest into the community, into the marketing, into the players and stuff like that. There are 5 or 6 of the, I think it's 4 or 5 of the teams within 4 hours, and I think 5 or 6 of the teams within 6 hours, which is a good bus trip, an easy bus trip, good travel, cost effective. And this is the group that the 30 home games will be played against. And this is the group that you'll be playing in the Robertson Cup Championship on the best of 5 series that I had mentioned. Next slide, please. I know there's questions about attendance. Typically, successful hockey team attendance really is about the capacity of their building, about what they can do marketing-wise and the size of their town. And if you take a look at the North American Hockey League, from Lewiston, Maine, to Corpus Christi, Texas, to Fairbanks, Alaska, to Minot, North Dakota, there's 35 members. And so we have a bunch of different buildings, and we have a bunch of different markets and a bunch of different models. I wanted to pull out markets that have had experience with other leagues pro leagues, etc. And I wanted to show you what the average attendance is in the last 2 years of the teams that have participated in other leagues and then had moved to the North American Hockey League, very similar to this. You can see that the overall average in 22-23 was just over 2,000, and right now it's just over 2,300 per game. And again, these are all former pro markets. The main team is at the bottom here, but just wanted to note they just got a new ownership group last year, and that ownership group in the building are really investing in the community, and they've doubled their attendance in 1 year, and we're seeing that continue to go up. If I took their last 6 games, it's going to be over 1,200, 1,400. So attendance-wise, when you take like-minded buildings, like-minded markets, like-minded situations, should be in a pretty good spot here with the ability to drive attendance in this building. Is there a next slide, or is that my last one? That's my last one. So I think the last thing that I want to, the next thing that I want to show you is just a short video. Again, trying to bring some of y'all a little bit more into the, sorry, I flew in from Texas, so I might have said y'all there. I hope that's okay. So I want to just kind of bring y'all a little bit into what our world is about and help provide any information I can. But we're going to go ahead and play a short video. This is a little montage of our teams as they're advancing to the Robertson Cup, and then some video from our actual Robertson Cup game, which again is held at a Final Four, Frozen Four type of situation in Blaine, Minnesota. Typically, you get about 2,400 folks at that game. But you'll see some different buildings in there, and you'll see some different teams and some different action. But I'll go ahead and turn the video over to y'all, and then I'll come back and finish up real quick, and then we'll get to some questions. So as you can tell, there's some very passionate announcers and broadcasters out there. That was very loud, but the point of that was so you could see the hockey and you could see the type of in-game promotions and you can see the fans, and the product is ready to rock and roll in a building of this level. And so I wouldn't have any concerns about any of that, but you may have some questions later. Finally, just thank you for letting me share all of that information about the league. Finally, I just want to point out, there was obviously some delicacies to this process and timing and being respectful of the change of the guard here and stuff like that. I just want to point out how great it's been to work with Mark and the IDA, and thank them for their support and what they've done here. And want to thank Mark Stemmerman as well, and all the attorneys. But it's been a really good experience. It's been a positive experience. What I found is I've had a chance to deal with people and work with people that are really passionate about this community and really passionate about this building. And this is a very unique relationship with the facility and the team, the way this is set up, and it creates a true partnership. And I don't know everything about the past, but what I see right now and in the future, the true partnership is really a win for the Elmira people and for this building. And I just want to thank them for all their efforts, because I know they've taken a risk and they've chosen a path. And we're going to live up to your expectations in the North American Hockey League, but very professional process with some very good people that are very committed to the community. So that would be in closing there. And what I would do is I would welcome Mark and Ray to the stage, and then answer any questions, whether it be for me or Mark or Ray. I'd be willing to answer any questions y'all have. Thank you.
Questions? Yes, sir.
I'll start first. So you guys talked about the league looking to giving back into the community. I know you guys lend off a couple of the initiatives. What are some things you guys are looking forward to doing here in Elmira in terms of giving back?
Well, in general, what the team does is they get out in the community. Each community might have some different things that are more important to them, but there are things that we do with schools, there are things that we do with reading, there are things we do with hospitals, there are things that our teams do with soup kitchens, there are things that teams can do for veterans. There's a whole host of things, and really kind of where that falls down to is what is the community about, what are the things that they specialize in, or what are something that maybe they need the team to engage in. One of the things we do as a league, our job as a league, we don't own all these teams in these markets, individual owners do, but we facilitate as much as we can from the league level, and we have a committee and a staff member on staff that works with everybody's marketing committee and works with those different league initiatives, and then they share ideas and have meetings and stuff like that. But you'll find, I'll go down to some of the teams. I'll use Corpus Christi as an example. Like the first 3 times I went down there, I'm in tears, just because of some of the things they're doing for these people in the community. There was one young man that had always had to rub the tickets together, so they just did certain things for his cause, and they did certain things to have him in the right seat. They had another former player that got burned in a lawnmower incident, but every time they did a lot for him. There's just all these little things, and sorry I'm getting teared up at it, but I'm a real person, and I'm emotional because when I see that stuff, it's really cool. It's really cool. So those are some examples, and I'll get back in commissioner character here, but those are some examples. But those are things that you guys those are the things that this team can work with the community. Those are some examples of stuff that have been done.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit to that. This community right now is looking for this facility to expand and be successful. The more we're involved on a day-to-day basis with this facility in the community, the better off we're going to be. We're looking for support out of the community. We're looking to work with the schools, the hospitals. We're looking to work with businesses to put us in a much better position, a community facility. We're talking about hockey today, but it's not just about hockey. It's about the future of the community, making this a community facility with hockey as a main tenant. So that's very, very important to understand. We're all going to work together to expand this opportunity. So I just wanted to add that too. Next question. Yes, sir.
Obviously, the elephant in the room is that River Sharks aren't coming back. What went into that decision to?
I see they all moved out of the way. So go ahead, finish the question. What was the decision? I can tell you the decision is the number one thing is economics. Okay? Number two, if in fact hockey is important in this community, the average number of people that paid to come to this arena was 723. So, if hockey is important, let's find a way to get behind it and let's move it. The challenge is that economics. If you can't pay for a hockey league upwards of over $750,000 to $800,000, how can you exist? It's economics. Is it anything against the hockey league that we had here? No. It's just the support, paid customers was not there. So we had to take an economic decision. Our fiduciary responsibility is an economic decision to keep this place moving forward. And the economics is about 50% less than it was.
And just to follow up on that, what makes you think that fans will support this team more than they did the River Sharks?
You know, quite honestly, I'm hoping that things change in this community, that all the people that are out there talking about hockey, that they're going to support it. We're going to put a very quality program on the ice. We're going to be out and we're going to market it. We've got some new marketing people on board. We've got an investor that's a community leader. That hasn't happened here truly ever. So there are some different things that are going on this time around. And I believe that once things start to roll out, we see the quality of product that's on the ice. We advertise it. We get more people involved in it. Mr. Stemmerman is extremely excited about it. And I believe he has a pretty significant following. So I think it's going to be different.
What's the timeline as far as when we'll actually see hockey again here at the arena?
Our main camp will be the first week in August, and then after that we break and then we'll start back up again. The first home games will probably be
Mid-September.
mid-September, because the first beginning of the season we actually go out to a showcase in Blaine, Minnesota at the beginning of the year.
Just follow up. Mark, you said before that hockey isn't going to be the single driving force here at the arena, but obviously it's a pretty big piece.
Yes, hockey is the driving force here. However, as many of you know, if you've paid attention, we have another rink that is being transferred to turf, and we have a lot of people interested in soccer, lacrosse, athletic practices, all types of things. So what we're trying to do, which has never been done before, we are diversifying the facility to meet other people's expectations. Not just hockey. Hockey is the main tenet, yes. But we're also doing other things to expand the excitement of the facility. Soccer, lacrosse, other forms of athletics. And that should be up and running within a couple of weeks, hopefully. Yes, ma'am.
What's the idea's role in this new team, and then what's the role in running operations at First Arena?
Okay, the IDA obviously is going to take care of a portion of the finances. Our goal is to work with the commissioner and the league, work with the team, so that we have a cohesive group. We also have a management team here currently at the arena, and their job is to meld together and to work as a fine unit, if you will. It's not going to be hockey's over here, management over here, IDA's up here, commissioner over here. Everybody's going to work together to make this thing work. I believe this is a significant time in our community. This is going to be it. Some people won't like me to say that, but I'm going to say it anyways. I typically say it like it is. This is our time. This is a time to make this thing work. We all work together. Let's talk about the positive things in this arena, not the negatives. Let's look towards the positive things that can happen, not the negatives. It's very important to understand that. We all work together.
Mark, was there any consideration of having the River Sharks still be here with this new team?
Well, yes, there could be. However, it's economics. You know, that's the challenge. If you have difficulty with the River Sharks, you know, during the year with just that team, how are you going to fund two teams? If the hockey world was excited as much as they talk about, there would have been more than 723 people here. Now that's paid. Typically there's average about 1,200, which is great, but I believe we're going to significantly improve on those numbers.
Can you elaborate on, you know, not here in the league itself, is there any last minute efforts of like the final hour to try to keep the team?
No, not really. We talked a lot. I mean, we went back and forth quite a bit. Again, I keep saying economics. I mean, if the number's here and it can't come down here, how do you continue? And that's a challenge. When you're paying the players on a pro level, it's very challenging. And so there wasn't a whole lot of options.
Mark, you mentioned attendance earlier.
That's really his questions.
What is the plan to get more people in the seats? Is there promotions that are going to be happening too?
Yeah, we have, I mentioned we have a gentleman that joined our group, Bobby Kay, and he has put together a marketing team, and he's probably watching me right now. He's in Florida. Hi, Bob. And he's working on a number of options for us. He's been extremely busy, and it's going to be significantly different than it has been in the past. We've got a team of people that are going to work together with the team, with the league, and put us in a better position. And of course, I've got to continue to mention Mark Stemmerman. I mean, as an owner of a very successful business here locally, he's going to pull some weight, and he's going to help us get to some of these other businesses. I think it'll be very, very successful. Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk about how you feel that this is going to help build the downtown area and or the city of Elmira in general, how this is really going to be beneficial?
Sure. Yeah, you know, a lot of questions I've had in the past from some of you folks was, are you going to make money? Are you making money? When are you going to break even? Well, imagine every single home game, there's probably 30 to 40 hotel rooms being occupied. There's restaurants being occupied. There's coffee shops being occupied. There's bars being occupied. The parking garage being occupied. So it's not just about the arena making money, it's the economic benefit of what's going on in the community. I'm amazed, and I'm happy to say that there's a number of people that have come up to us and said, hey, this is a great idea. I'm glad you did what you did. You know, you just see the people coming in here for the concerts. Okay, we just had a couple of concerts. Were the crowds really large? No, but we're looking between 800 and 1,000 people. Not too bad. We're just getting started again. A lot of people were reluctant, but we got to build confidence in the arena again, and that's what we're here to do. That's why we're working with some quality people that are going to help us bring this thing back.
Mark, one more question for me. The other junior level teams that were here for X amount of seasons, what's going to happen with them?
As far as I know, they're going to continue to be here. We're going to all work together. That's the idea. We're all going to work together. Their youth hockey folks reached out to me, and they were very, very happy. Very happy. The junior hockey folks I've talked to, very pleased. So I think it's going to be a good working condition for everybody.
This is for the commissioner of the league.
Thank goodness.
Why did you choose to come to Elmira, and why do you think this city is a good fit for your league?
So first of all, we got to strike that where I got emotional earlier because I'm the commissioner. I'm supposed to be tough. I'm not supposed to have a soft side. So let's strike that. We got to restart there. So we don't choose and we don't go after markets. Okay. The history with our East Division is really kind of unfolding. Goes back to I would say a napkin. Sometimes I call it the napkin where you're just scribbling out ideas. And Lewiston was on that napkin. And Danbury was on that napkin, and Elmira was on that napkin. And it just takes time sometimes for that stuff to evolve. But the way the North American Hockey League works is we have folks that are willing. I get contacted weekly about membership, literally weekly. And we have folks that are part of a community, and projects and groups make application to the league. And so when we get that application, we then evaluate. So number one, we were aware of Elmira because of the napkin concept. Two, we look at the geography. It tightens up the western side of the East Division. Three, we look at past performance and facility. And then we look at who's making the application. And one of the things I mentioned earlier about the men and women that own teams in the North American Hockey League, they are all at a point to where they are giving back to the players and the community through the sport. And so we have 35 members that I work for. Our board meetings run very smooth. We put differences aside to do what's best for the player and best for the league. And it's a really, really enjoyable and functioning process. But when the project was brought to us and the application came in, we then were going to do whatever we could to help achieve membership if it was the right thing. And so that's our process. And I think, a couple of questions that were asked about, future performance, we can look at some past predictors of some of the markets I showed you that had switched, so hopefully that is part of it. And, the other thing I would say, again, it has nothing to do with disparaging any other former product or anything. I would just say that, what is the community about? What are they trying to do? And if the community is about investing into our future, whether it be all the businesses stuff here or about these young men that are coming here to advance, it's a pretty good mission to get involved in. And there are some fans that probably won't be able to get over the change, but there'll be a whole bunch of new fans that come in. And when you talked about, I think you said junior, but I think you were talking more about the high school and the youth programs and stuff when you said other junior teams. They will be ecstatic because this is something that they can see. This is something where they can look and maybe see themselves participate in someday. We're all part of that development USA hockey structure that all the youth teams are part of, all the high school teams are part of. And so this is a friendly product. The cost is different because the players don't get paid. The cost isn't different because there's the devaluation of the product on the ice. You will be very surprised at the level of this play. These guys are on their way up and they're going to go somewhere and they're in a really good spot. I've got a lot of friends that have played in the minor leagues, but that doesn't mean they're not always there on an upward trajectory. They're sometimes there for not necessarily a long time, but maybe a good time. And I think it's natural for players to want to continue to play hockey along the course of the way. So the mission of what the North American Hockey League about is very successful in 34 other markets, and there's passionate fans, passionate owners, passionate volunteers, great communities, great buildings, and we're excited to have the Aviators as number 35.
Is Mr. Stemmerman here?
No, he's not. No, he wasn't able to show up today. He had meetings with his company and he wasn't able to show up.
The last question I have is, what is the expectation for ticket prices for this new team?
We're in the process of working on that, modifying a number of things in the facility, and that'll be coming out fairly soon. But it's something for consideration.
Just along with that, we are going to present a opportunity for the team to use in a marketing campaign that anybody that gets involved with tickets or some sort of commitment is going to get access to the online video access to our Robertson Cup. We do that with our new teams because we want fans to be able to get a chance to take a look at it. We want them to understand, they can watch the championship, free of charge on the streaming, and we want them to start to get to understand and get acclimated with the league, because you have people that are interested in the brand, and you'll have people that'll come around, and we think that'll be helpful too. But that's one of the things we're going to work together on and helping to promote that.
Okay, anything else?
Now, not to say that this new plan and these fresh ideas won't work, but is there an option for the IDA to terminate this agreement prior to the 5 years ending?
Yeah, that's not our plan, and I don't want to think of the negativity of it, but there's always things that can happen. Okay, anything else? Awesome, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming, and hopefully let's look at the positive of things and move forward and support this team. Have a great day.